let's have a little throwback, shall we? Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Sheen, and on this channel we explore ways on how to improve ourselves both professionally and personally. And today I want to take you with me on a little journey of just remembering what life has taught us in 2022. Can you believe it's almost 2023? I feel like I'm still in 2019 mentally. Haven't processed 2020, 2021, and now 2022. But you know, life just throws things at us. So I thought this will be a good way for me as well to sit down and have a think about, you know, what did 2022 represent for me? What did I learn from it? And also just generally, you know, what do we want to bring into the new year with us? What do we want to leave behind? And I thought I will share this with you because hopefully there are some things there that we can all learn together and move forward together into 2023. Okay, so shall we get started? So I thought I would split this into subsections that make sense. And the first one, of course, is health. Health is wealth, as everybody says, right? And it is so important to us. And this year, I've had the realization that I really should prioritize my health a lot more. I know I am too old for this, but it happened finally this year. The first thing is eating healthy, right? I need to eat healthy. I always order for food. And previously, when I used to work as a consultant, my excuse was that I have no time, I can't cook. I can make healthier decisions, but even then it is still buying food and it is not as healthy as, you know, when you're making a conscious decision of eating clean and making good food choices. Now that I've changed my job, I have started slowly building those habits, and I can see the difference in my mood, for example, and my wallet, but mostly my mood. I just feel so much better. I don't feel tired after eating. I'm in a better mood. And also I feel like the scroll of doom on Deliveroo whenever you're trying to find somewhere to eat, because I do it every day, it's not exciting anymore, you know, and it feels like a chore. So therefore now it's a lot more interesting thinking about what can I cook, what groceries do I need, and it's made life a lot better. And hopefully it will make me a lot better. The second thing is working out. So I started working out this year as well. And I think that one thing for me, working out used to mean a lot of boring cardio. And now I've realized that that's not the case. You know, you can also do strength building, which I absolutely love. But my favorite is doing group activities and, you know, just going to like play a sport with friends or going to dance classes makes it a lot more interesting. Therefore, the lesson there is find ways to make working out more interesting, make being active more interesting, whether it is walking, whether it is doing some sort of physical activity, but do something that makes you happy, then it's less of a chore. The third lesson I learned is that our body is so resilient, okay? So I had a car accident recently and I had bruises everywhere. I had this big blue patch, right, on my body. And it was gone within weeks. It went from blue to like yellowish to like red, and then it was gone like clean. And I was just amazed by how the human body can bounce back from things. So we should be grateful for our body, but also take care of it. And therefore just remember that your body is there to take care of you. Be kind to it, and also look at your body in a kind way. And the next lesson is that consumption is not just what you eat or you drink, okay? Consumption is everything that you put inside your body, and it can be things that you listen to, things that you watch, things that are around you. So be mindful of what conversations you're having, what you're reading, what content you're consuming. All of this also affects your mind and therefore your well-being and your health. Now, the next subsection is our mindset in general. The first thing, which I think is pretty clear, is being more positive. And this is because life will throw all kind of challenging situations your way and my way, of course. So it's really good to be able to be positive in these situations and trying to see the good in it. And this helps you be in a better mental state so that you're in a better position to tackle whatever is happening to you. And one way I have implemented being more positive is that in the morning, I do not immediately check my phone, because I always think it's very innocent. I'm just gonna check if there's anything urgent. But then there's always something there that will bug me a little, whether it's an annoying message from an annoying person, or it's this notification. I'm like, what is this? And then you start digging, and all of these things have already shaped your mood for the day. So therefore, put your phone away in the first half an hour or 1 hour. Just do your thing, let your brain wake up and your energy levels go up, and then deal with the day. And of course, the next one is being more grateful. I have done a full video about how I learned about gratitude a lot more this year, and I've put it into practice. I will put it there somewhere, but definitely being more grateful positively impacts your life, your mood, your health, and everything. So make sure to include gratitude in your daily routine. The next big lesson I learned was to prioritize and to protect my peace. And what I mean by that is, there are people, there are situations, there are activities, there are just things out there that will really bother you. It will either upset you, it will either make you be negative, or bring these thoughts that you don't want to deal with. And sometimes you just force yourself into those situations because you think, it's okay, I'll deal with it. But don't. If there are people or situations that I know do not make me feel good, then I avoid it. I completely avoid the situation. I protect my peace, because protecting my peace is my priority, okay? The key to being happy is being peaceful, because you need to be completely at peace where nobody is able to bother you or put thoughts in your head that you are not choosing to have, okay? So protect your peace. The next thing is being kind to myself. So this is something I have learned again during the year, is that the way we speak to others is very different to the way we speak to ourselves sometimes, right? And not all the time, but sometimes we do tend to, for example, have high expectations from ourselves, or be a bit less forgiving when we're not delivering on things. And I am my harshest critic, right? And therefore, just being a bit kinder with those things, because at the end of the day, we talk to ourselves the most in our lifetime, right? So therefore that voice needs to be kind. Next section is relationships. So this, I mean every kind of relationship you have in your life, with your family, siblings, friends, partner, colleagues. So the first lesson is, I'm sure you've heard this as well, is that somebody said that we are the average of the 5 people that we hang out with. And that is so true, okay? I've noticed it that, for example, when I was in the UK, the 5 people that I would see most there are very different to the 5 people that I see most when I'm here. And that means that I have completely changed, because you do become very similar to the people you're around. So therefore, choose these people very, very carefully, because you are basically choosing what your future self will look like. And it doesn't mean that you will copy everything that they do, but you do absorb some similarities from them, and you will absorb some traits. So therefore, choose the people around you very carefully. And also just generally, the people around you are those that will motivate you, that build you up. So therefore, you need very good people there. So choose your circle carefully. The next thing is, which I think is a very big lesson, especially for all of us, at this stage in our life where you've left university, you're now working. And I have heard this from many people as well, is that you will realize that people will come and go from your life. And that is so normal. Everyone has this. And I think that I was struggling with it for a bit, but now I have come to realize that the best approach to this is to appreciate the role that these people had in your life while they were there, and to let them go once it's time for them to go, because you should have no resentment. Life happens, people grow differently, people have different priorities, and it just happens, right? And it doesn't mean that the other person is evil, or that you're evil, or that something happened. But even if it did happen, right? Let's say something did happen and you had a fallout, don't be too sad over it, because this is just the rule of life. People come and go, okay? And just learning to be okay with it will make life so much simpler. The next one is another big one, which is you cannot and should not try to please everyone, okay? Whatever you do in life, whether it is on a professional basis, on a personal basis, on the internet, whatever you do, you will never please anyone. And if you do, you're definitely doing something wrong because it is absolutely impossible to do, okay? So again, this is another skill of learning to be okay with, because you can never please everybody. And that's okay. That's okay. Everyone is allowed to have their choices. Everyone is allowed to have their opinions. And you need to be okay with that, because otherwise you'll go nuts. And I think this is a wholesome one that all of you have heard of before, but just making time for the people who matter. And this has been a big lesson again this year, where, you know, learning how to prioritize time for the people that matter the most, and not just making time for people who are more conveniently in your life, so who are around you, who you see every day, but making a conscious effort to spend time with the people who matter the most to you, even if that means really going out of your way in order to spend quality time with them. Let's move away from the mushy things. Now we are onto personal growth. So this has been a big thing for me this year especially, which is to check yourself, okay? So I've started doing this a lot more, which is whenever I have a reaction to something, and mostly when I'm upset or I feel bad about something, is to check myself and try and understand, where is this coming from? You know, is this based on an assumption? Is it a fact? If it's a fact, why is this fact bothering me, you know? And trying to get to the root of the problem in order to understand my reaction pathway, okay? And this has been quite important, because then sometimes I realize that I'm either overthinking, and this is not the case, or I realize that I could ask for clarification and that might take away my worry, or I realize that, you know, I've learned something new about myself, about why this thing bothers me, and now in the future I know that I could stay away from this, you know, to protect my peace. So this whole thing about checking yourself, firstly, make sure that you are not behaving badly towards other people, which is very important. And secondly, it makes you get to know yourself a bit better as well. The next thing is consuming a lot more information. And for me, that has been through reading audiobooks and podcasts this year. I used to listen to podcasts very sporadically, but this year, because I commute to work now, I listen to a podcast on the way to work. Sometimes on the way back, I don't really want to listen to a podcast because, you know, I'm tired, so I just listen to music to zone out. But the podcast is quite nice because you are in the middle of a conversation and then suddenly you're at work. So this has been really helpful for me, because I feel like I have broadened my horizons. I learned so much, and then I felt like, you know, firstly, it's giving me great ideas in terms of what content I can create, it's teaching me new things, and it's also giving me more value to add whenever I'm in conversations, and, you know, just things to share with other people. So there's literally nothing bad that can come out of this. So I will strongly recommend to broaden your horizons and consume more content through podcasts and reading, especially, because this will make you a completely different person. The next thing is, you know, having the mindset that you have to keep learning, right? And this is something I've realized, especially now that I am in a new role at work, is that you never stop learning, and you should never aim to stop learning, okay? There can be hard skills that you need at work, there can be soft skills that you need in a professional setting, but also in a personal setting. But just constantly identifying your weaknesses in terms of, I don't know, I can't cook, for example, well then let's try and learn some new ways of doing this. Or there are some new words that you've heard, like crypto is crashing these days, what does that mean? Just learning these things, because knowledge is the best asset you can have, right? And it will just come to some sort of use to you at some point in your life, but keep learning. The other thing is just having little check-ins with myself in terms of, what do I want in life, where am I going, and whether whatever I am doing currently, professionally and personally, are these serving this path that I want to be on. And just having these little check-ins make sure that, you know, further down the line you don't have a big regret and then feel like you've wasted a lot of time. And this has been quite useful, and this is exactly what led to me quitting my previous job, because I knew that it was not serving me. And I made that big decision and, you know, made the shift, and now I feel like I am moving in the path that I want to be moving in. Now, the other big section, which is professional life. The first lesson I learned there was that, you know, it is so important to feel fulfilled at work, and it is possible to feel that way. There is no work that is perfect. There is no job where you will 100% love it. There are always grinding pains everywhere you are. But being fulfilled is possible in a job, and this is how I feel right now, and this is what I've been craving for, and I am glad it's there. So therefore, if you are pondering whether you can be fulfilled, or you feel like you're not being fulfilled at work, but that's how it is, no. You can be fulfilled, and it is important for you, so find a job where you feel fulfilled. The next thing is more as a content creator job, but delegation is key, okay? And I mean, I had an editor, I found a new editor, and just, it makes life so much easier, you know, and delegation is so important. Even at work, in my current role as a COO, the ability to delegate work properly, where you tell the person properly what the job is, and being able to move back and let the person perform and then go back for a check-in is so important. And it is such an important skill to learn in life on how to delegate work without being overbearing or without being unhelpful. So think about that. Also, now the world of work is really changing, right? Everybody's talking about the future of work. And I think it is the best time to pave your own pathway, okay? In the past, it used to be very clear ways of getting into a particular job. You know, you do the summer internship, you get the grad scheme, and then after that, you get into the job and you stay there. But it's not that anymore. There are so many different avenues. There are so many different types of work that have come out. And now with the Great Resignation as well, a lot of people are going out on their own. So just pave your own pathway. And even if that is reaching out to someone you want to work with and telling them how you can contribute, which is what I did, can help you, okay? So just think about what you want and make it happen. Now, this is interesting, right? Because obviously, this is not news to me, and I'm sure not to you either, but constructive feedback is a good thing. And I always say it, and whenever I wasn't in any team, I would say, oh yeah, if you have any feedback for me, let me know. And people would let me know. But I never, ever liked it. And I don't think people like it, right? That's the nature of constructive feedback. You're not meant to like it, but it's useful for you. But I know a lot of people who are genuinely not fazed by it, and they think, okay, yeah, okay, these are the parts that I need to improve on. But for me, I used to take it personally and think that, oh God, they must think I'm stupid, and like, how do I change this, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm not like this anymore. And it has been a work in progress for a few years now, where I've tried to understand and, you know, disassociate from the feedback and think that this is just about improving my quality of work. And finally, now I have come to a place where constructive feedback for me is purely about the work, and I am excited about making it better. So again, this is a journey, and I hope that you get there in the end as well. But constructive feedback is a good thing. And now, you know, just overall, after having gone through all of this, I have two final lessons for you that, for me, kind of summarize the year and kind of summarize where I am right now emotionally, spiritually, and how I feel about going into 2023. And the first one is always be yourself, okay? And I have realized this. I was trying to fit into someone that I wasn't, and I was unhappy, and there was no need for that, okay? So just always be yourself, whether it is in a relationship, whether it is at work. Just know who you are and stick to it, because trust me, this is the best version of you. And finally, I guess this is my final takeaway message from this whole video, which is, you know, do not take life too seriously. Life is hard for all of us. It goes up and down. There are good things, there are bad things, and that's okay. This is just the package of life, but don't take it too seriously, okay? Remember to be happy, remember to enjoy, remember to be grateful, and just to spend the time with the people that you love, because at the end of the day, that's what matters the most, you know? How loved we feel and how much love we put out there. So, hope you had a wonderful 2022 as well, and thank you for being here with me again this year, and I cannot wait to be with you again in 2023. Until then, Happy New Year, and once again, a big thank you from my heart, and I will see you in the new year. Bye.